Okay, let's try this again. My boy came in and we had a discussion on the house and stuff. So, anyways, I'm redoing this video again. Hello and welcome to Just Jules, where I am. Drum roll, please. Just Jules. That's it. Just Jules. Anyways, I was doing a PSA on those who believe that I'm going to quit on myself. I don't quit. I may subside slightly for a bit, but I do not give up. I had given up at one point in time, years ago, during my nervous breakdown, where I reached a level of load that I didn't think possible. And I managed to claw my ass out of that shit. Claw my way into sobriety, a life of sobriety. And fixing and tending to my mental health needs. Over the course of years. Since 2021, I've been on this grand adventure. Self-healing, self-reflection. And I am not about to stop. Hate to break it to you. I'm not going to stop. When I reached that low point, the only thing that kept me alive was writing. I focused and poured all of my attention into writing and managed to get published in like 22 different anthologies. And that was at my lowest point. That was during my nervous breakdown, and I managed to still knock out goals. I will in a second. So, keep that in mind if you think I'm going to quit. Because even if at my lowest point, I always find something to do and something to improve upon. Always. Now, another aspect is the fact that, well, let's see here. People started saying that I was broken. So what did I do? I went and did 2.5 years of therapy videos in 4.5 months. That doesn't sound like quitting. And I fixed my brain. I went through, because people kept on telling me, oh, Julie, you're a narcissistic. You're this, you're that. You're schizophrenic. You're this mental health issue. Everybody got their fucking PhD on WebMD. Okay? And so I'd have people say, well, you're this, you're that, you're the other. So I went through, and for like a month and a half, every day I wrote down my diagnoses, my formal diagnoses, right? I have an INFJ personality type, so I wrote down all those qualities. I'm autistic, wrote down all those qualities. I have PTSD and CPTSD, wrote down all those qualities. I've got ADHD and BPD, wrote down all of those qualities, and then some. And I went through and I found similarities between all of them, which are basically the running characteristics that are part of who I am. Judging by those lists that I did, and it took me about a month and a half of thorough dissection of my own brain. And in knowing myself, anybody can throw a freaking you're this, you're that at me, and it rolls off. Why? Because I did that for 2.5 years of therapy in 4 months, and I dissected my own brain down to every fucking detail in it. So nobody can tell me who I am, because I'm already well aware, and I'm well aware of what I struggle with and what my strengths are. And so nobody can turn around and tell me, well, you're a narcissist. No, I have BPD and PTSD and autism, which unfortunately have overlapping symptoms. And I found that out too, that there are characteristics of autism, PTSD, and BPD that actually overlap. And some of my personality traits overlap with the trauma traits and my zodiac traits, oddly enough. And so I went through that, and I've got it all written down in my journal. So I've got proof that I actually did the work. Now, in terms of quitting on myself, when I first got divorced from my first husband, he told me, Julie, you're never going to get your degree. You're never going to get it. You wasted all that money and you don't have nothing to show for it. Okay. What did I do? My ass enrolled at University of Phoenix and my ass got my bachelor's degree. Busted my ass doing it. And that was right after the divorce. Then, when my ex left, the house was in shambles. He had his reasons why there was a lot of stuff that needed to be fixed. And it was assumed that I would just leave it. Instead, I took 9 months and I renovated the whole house. Granted, plumbing needs work and the electrical. Neither one of those I'm skilled at. But as for laying drywall, laying roofing, fixing outlets and light fixtures, and glazing the windows and replacing windows and re-enameling the tub and laying luan and flooring, I know how to do all that shit. Patching up holes, running wire, I know how to do that shit. Because I spent 9 months doing it. Frickin' Menards was my absolute favorite store in the world during that time. And I know my way around tools as well, which is really cool and beneficial. So I did that. Painted all the walls and made it all pretty. It needs a bit of a touching up and stuff. It's due. It's been 10 years. But I did it. I did it. And they didn't think I would. Now, during my nervous breakdown, fast forward, you can't make it. You think you're a writer, but nah. What are you doing? Where'd you get published? I got 22 publications. Over 22 publications. That's 22 for anthologies, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. And so now, recently get my heart broken. Lots of miscommunication because, well, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, the subliminals suck and not conducive for problem solving. But if anybody thinks that I'm actually going to quit after all of this, after I've gotten this far, I don't think so. You are sadly mistaken. Just because a man breaks my heart does not mean I'm going to quit on my damn self. In fact, I tend to use heartbreak to fuel my forward progression. I did so after my divorce. I did so after other breakups where I'd focus and get published and buff up my writing portfolio and having a list of different publications and stuff under my belt. And when I found out that this whole thing was going on with the subliminal messages, the hidden cameras, the illegal profile, did I curl up in my bed for a little while? Yes, I did. I was in shock. But you know what else I did? In the midst of it, I got sober. She's not going to get sober. She's just a big fat fucking loser. All she does is sit around and do drugs all day. My ass got sober, and I've been sober for a long time now. I don't even keep track. It's got to be about over 600 days. And over 900 days total. That's a win. That's not me quitting. You know what else I did that wasn't quitting? I got 3 certifications, which is pretty badass. And I'm working on 2 more. That's a total of 6 certifications in 2-3 years. 6 certifications in 2 to 3 years. Is that really quitting? I don't think so. I have plans. And so does God. And I trust in His plans as I'm working on my own. And I feel His hand in my life, guiding me towards what I am meant to do. And currently, which is not quitting, I have got 3 books that I'm working on right now. 3. Actually 4 if you count Ursula. I've got a fantasy romance that I'm working on, and I'm over 106,000 words into it. Not quitting. I've got a nonfiction book on online sex trafficking, and I'm probably about 20,000 words into that one. Then I've got a dystopian sci-fi novel that I'm working on, and I'm still doing research for that. And then I've got my Ursula retelling that I'm also working on. And I have a number of other goals that are going to remain clandestine for the time being because, well, it's nobody's business. Keep that shit to myself. When people think they break me, they only make me better. That's what people don't understand. If you are out to get me, it's only going to make me better. Why? Because I take that energy, that hate, that bullshit, those projections, like you did when you were trying to formally diagnose me. I went through and I did that myself. So no one has any room to talk. I went through and completely renovated my entire brain. I worked on my brain so much that I rewired the neurons so I think more positively as opposed to negatively. Although I do have struggles with fear, and that's basically fear in relationships. Because I've been hurt deeply because of relationships. I've been betrayed up the ass. But if you think for one solid second that I'm going to give up, sit back and watch. It might take me a while, but I don't give up. Because the goals I make are long-term. Short-term goals are great for like dissecting my brain. Learning about relationships, which is another subject I'm on, is learning how, relationships operate and what I truly want in one. I am overhauling my whole self one little bit at a time. And shit, people thought I'd stay fat and call me a fat ass, and people try to shame me for that. And all I gotta say to the people who make fun of my weight is, dude, if you think I'm fat now, you should have seen me 100 pounds ago. I was mooing. Oh, I was mooing. And I can say that because that's me. And I've made definitive improvements in that department as well. I actually have starting to get my hourglass figure back. I got the Jessica Rabbit thing going on. It's cool. And I feel confident and proud of myself. Just because a guy doesn't want to be with me and he'd rather choose someone else above me does not constitute my value. Because I know what I'm capable of and I know what I've already done. And I'm only going to just get better through the course of the years. And it's entirely up to the guy as to whether or not he wants to join me in this adventure and boost each other up. Either way, I'm moving forward. Either way, I'm progressing. Either way, I'm knocking out my goals. Either way. It don't matter. Heartbreak or not. Heartbreak is the fuel for me. It's a huge transition. And instead of being embittered and resentful and curling up in a ball or a fetal position and rocking back and forth, drooling, cross-eyed, staring at the ceiling fan, I would much rather knock out goals. And I have a big one. Big one. And I'm excited about it. And God has led me to this goal. He introduced it to me slowly. And then the hit was just recently like, oh, that's what. So I am working on 2 jobs. Startup of something and my writing. And I'm never giving up my writing again. I did that. I gave up my writing for about 2-3 years because of the rumors. Back in 2021, I stopped writing. And writing was my life. Writing was, I live and breathe writing. And it was the only thing I ever wanted to do besides becoming a singer. That's another goal that I wanted to be, but I didn't think that was possible, so I didn't pursue it. But writing is my safe haven. It makes me who I am. Me without a pen is just emptiness. And so back in 2021, there was a rumor that went around that I plagiarize, that my work wasn't really my work. And that fucking devastated me, because that is the type of rumor that destroys careers. It destroys fucking careers. And it destroys the drive that a person has to pursue that goal, that love. And I had worked over 27 to 30 years on writing, on my craft. I've been doing this for years, all my damn life. And so I ended up giving up on it, except for some poetry during the poetry marathon that they hold every year. But I ended up giving up that. And that's essentially part of who I am. And I ended up rediscovering that and rediscovering that drive and that passion for writing again. And I've been busting my ass doing it. And I'm going to continue doing that because that's my purpose. That's part of my purpose. It's only a portion of my purpose. The whole purpose of me is all the working parts that I'm working on right now. Everything that compiles and adds up. Each time I knock out a win, each time I knock out a goal, it keeps me moving forward. And sure, people might see me have days where I'm just puddled or I'm, taking my time. But I'd rather take my time and do things right and do things thoroughly than do something half-ass and only get a portion of the wisdom that I would otherwise get if I had put my all into it. So, heartbreak fuels me. When people say I can't do something, I prove them wrong. And nothing will stop me. Because if I can go through everything that I have gone through up until this point, up to and including being sexually exploited online, and still, while being sexually exploited online, attaining a total of 6 certifications, 2.5 years of therapy, and all the education and dissecting my brain and all the healing and shadow work that I've done, I am a certifiable badass. Why? Because I never gave up on myself and I don't plan on it. People saw me get to my lowest point, right? That was during my nervous breakdown. And even then, I was still knocking out goals and ended up in 22 different anthologies and 5 to 7 standalone books. This is not to brag either. This is not by any means bragging. This is illustrating my capabilities and what I will put myself through to attain another level and get to that next level in my life. Slowly, surely, I will eventually get there. I blossomed a little bit late in life, but I'm knocking shit out, and I'm not going to stop. So to those of you who think I'm going to quit on myself, sit back and watch the show, folks. I've got plenty. It'll take a while, but all good things come to those who wait and work hard. And my goals is not something that I'm going to be giving up on. I'm going to keep pressing forward, regardless. So, to those of you, and this is a message not just for me, but a message to all of you. Now, there, let me get up. All right. Many of you find it hard. You struggle. Let's say maybe some of you are at your lowest point. Maybe you're at the stage I was back in 2020, 2019, around that area, where I was hit my absolute lowest in ways that I could go into detail of how rough it was for me and what it was like pulling myself out of it. It wasn't easy. It outright sucked. And there are some of you hurt in that particular hole. And there's some of you who are crawling your way out of it. There are some of you who are facing struggles and trauma and, life's joyful curveballs. You've got people surrounding you who are telling you that you can't do something. Don't you fucking dare listen to them.
Internet.
In a minute.
You said that forever ago.
I'm not done yet. My boy wants internet, so I gotta cut this short here in a second. If somebody tells you that you can't do something, that you are incapable of doing something, that means they see that you are capable of doing it, they just don't want you to. Keep that in mind next time somebody tells you that you're never going to make it, that you're never going to do something, those goals that you have, that's just a dream. Give it up and abide by our lower standards where we want you to be. Tell them to go to hell. My boy. Tell them to go to hell. Because only you know what you're capable of. And no one can tell you who you are, especially if you know yourself. So if any of you might want to take a page out of my book. If you've got people telling you who the hell you are, oh, you're a narcissist, you're this, you're damaged, you're defective. Go through, find out your personality type, your zodiac type. If you struggle from any mental health issues, write them down. And then go through and write the symptoms. And you'd be surprised at how similar those characteristics can be. If you have people telling you that you'll never amount to anything, that means you will. So long as you don't listen to them. And just keep on moving forward. And in the midst of your pain and anguish, I urge you to pick up whatever project that you're working on and delve head and heart first into it. And I promise you, you won't regret it. This is not a means of deflection from addressing the pain that you're feeling, but use that pain to drive you forward. Think of it as like a catapult, right? Someone pulls you down, pulls you down, pulls you down, pulls you down. They try to weigh you down with the heavy rock in it, thinking
Dwayne?
a rock, not the Dwayne the Rock Johnson, oh my gosh. Thinking they'll weigh you down with a giant boulder in the catapult. But you have within your hand a knife to cut that rope cut that tie, and have that rock go shooting across the field to where you're aiming for your goal. So I urge you all, take that rope and cut it. Catapult yourself forward when somebody tries to weigh you down. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.